What's going on, guys? Corbin here, and I'm excited to bring you another mortgage video and looking forward to delivering more value and content throughout my YouTube channel. Mortgages, real estate investing. I may show some cars, some workouts, some other fun stuff, maybe a day in the life in the future, something like that. But I just want to do this quick mortgage video breaking down the mortgage process, and I'll do a more comprehensive video. If you want to watch and see more mortgage videos, please like and subscribe. Comment down below with any questions that you may have in the industry, and let's get started. So the first step in the mortgage process is actually finding a lender that you can trust. There are a lot of good lenders out there, probably in your area. It's really good to work with somebody local to you who will take care of you, handhold you through the whole process, go over, estimates, disclosures with you. It's really important that you work with a lender that's very upfront about everything. So when you get your pre-approval, you should also receive a loan estimate going over all the costs and fees associated. Otherwise, you can kind of be caught with your pants down. You can kind of be caught in hitting the back of the head like, what the heck? I didn't notice that there was all these costs, because maybe you had a phone conversation, and loan officer 101 a lot of times is just to be like, oh yeah, your total cash flow is going to be around $20,000, but they don't break down anything. So it's really important to make sure you get a full broken down loan estimate, and that comes from somebody that you work with that you can trust. And so my first part is find somebody that can refer you to a local lender, or look online, find reviews or anything like that. That's basically the first part. So the second part now is getting pre-approved and getting pre-qualified for your home and for your loan. There's a few different things the lender is going to ask for. They're going to ask for your self-employed tax returns, if you're just an employee, W-2s, pay stubs, things of that nature. What they're going to do with all this information is they're going to review three main key parts of your whole file. It's going to be income, credit, and assets. Credit is going to tell you if you qualify and what programs you qualify for. And income and assets is basically going to tell you how much you qualify for. All the lender really is looking for on your assets is where the down payment and closing cost is coming from. Now, there are some cases where you're going to need extra funds to close, and that's what you would call reserves. That's very common on investment properties and things of that nature. But if you're just buying a primary home, they're basically just going to want to figure out where the down payment and where the closing costs are coming from. When we're looking at your income, we're going to look at a few different things. We're going to look at your W-2s, your pay stubs. We may have to, if you work overtime or your commission, we may need your last year's, the final check of last year, or we're going to maybe do something up front called a verification of employment. These are a few of the different things that we're going to do to verify your income. When you're self-employed, it's a little different. We're going to look at your taxes, your corporation taxes as well. Maybe you W-2 yourself. We're going to look at that. And self-employment income is typically calculated a little bit more conservatively than a W-2 income. W-2, we're really just going to look at the gross income overall, especially if you're salary. We're just going to take your gross salary. When you're self-employed, it's a little bit different. If you write off a lot on your taxes, you may have some trouble qualifying for a home. The next part is we're going to look at your credit score. So this is really important because this is going to determine what kind of program you're going to get typically, and also the interest rate and the fees and all that stuff makes a difference with your credit score. On a conventional loan, you really want your credit to be above 700. It technically, you'll hear a loan officer say it goes down to 620, but we have to run a thing called a DU, and I'll get into the DU later in this video. But many times it doesn't qualify at 620, to be honest with you. 680 and up is the way to do if you're going to be on a conventional loan. And even 680, the pricing is usually a little bit rough. Conventional loans are going to like credit scores above 720, to be honest with you. And 740, 760 is when you get the creme de la creme for your interest rate. If you're below 680, then we may want to start looking at FHA options. And an FHA is a great loan. It's a great first-time home buyer loan. The minimum down payment is 3.5%, and the rates are super competitive, even if your credit score is in the lower 600s or so. And also, FHAs typically qualify in the lower 600s. You also have a VA loan, which is also flexible on credit, but that is for veterans. We'll do another video going over the VA loan, everything about a VA loan, how to get qualified for a VA loan, and the whole thing. So that's the basic idea of what we're going to look for is income, credit, and assets. So one of the key things in getting pre-approved is going to be your debt to income ratio. This is how the lender is going to decide if you can basically afford the monthly payment or not. There's two different types of DTI. There's your front end and there's your back end. all have different debt to income ratio requirements to qualify. On the front end, what that's going to look at is the projected mortgage payment, and they're going to divide that against the overall gross income that you're making per month. Okay, so let's say you make $10,000 a month. They're going to take $2,500 mortgage payment. That's going to be basically a 25% debt to income ratio, because that $2,500 is going to be 25% of $10,000. Back end is going to be your projected mortgage payment plus any debt that you have divided against that same income. And that back end is really important, because typically if it's over 50% on a conventional, you won't qualify. If it's over 56% on an FHA, you won't qualify. And really, VA qualifies technically above 50%, but there's a thing which we'll go into this in a later video called residual income that you have to qualify for on a VA loan. Because basically, in a nutshell, VA loans take into account bills and things of that nature that other loans don't take into account. And if you don't have that leftover residual income, then it doesn't qualify for the VA loan. So VA loans can be a little tricky. And then you have your USDA loans, which the USDA loans, I believe the debt to income ratio is going to be around 41% or so. It can go a little bit higher, I believe. USDA is for like rural areas. Most homes won't qualify for that. So finally, once we've pulled your credit and we look at that, we make sure there's no collections, charges, late payments, all those different types of things on your credit report. And we've looked at your income, we've looked at your debt to income ratios, and we've verified that you have the funds to close. And we've calculated this all into our origination software, which is basically just the loan software that we use. Every lender has it, okay? We are gonna run a thing that I talked about early in the video called the DU. So the desktop underwrite takes everything into account, and it's basically gonna tell you if you qualify. This is one of the most critical components of getting pre-approved for a loan. I can't tell you how many times I've seen loan officers just say, okay, this client looks good to go, credit looks pretty good, income looks good, and then there's something weird on the file that the DU doesn't like it, and instead of being approve eligible, it's an approve ineligible, or it's basically just refer with caution, which just basically means denied. And they go into underwriting and they figure this out, because at the end of the day, the underwriters and the companies are going to underwrite to what that DU approval says. So that DU approval is kind of like your guidance system to getting qualified for the mortgage. Now, once you have all that, we've verified all of your funds to close everything. We've ran the DU. Now we're going to send you the pre-approval. This is when you should get that loan estimate at the same time to get an idea of where the market is. Keep in mind that the interest rates are not locked in typically at this point. So the loan estimate that you receive is just an estimate. It's just that. It gives you a rough idea of your payment and all that. But the market changes every single day. So make sure you're working with your loan officer to see maybe it is time to lock in if you have a home that you're going to get an offer accepted on, things of that nature. Most lenders will offer like a longer lock period, and you can do it on like a to be determined basis, right? So you can lock on 90 days so you have some time to look for a home. But these are just, some different options for you. Now, once you do that, that gets sent over to your realtor. Your realtor is going to start finding you a home, and then you go into the loan process, which we'll do in another video. Hopefully this video was helpful, guys. I want to do more videos breaking down the in-depth parts of this, because I could talk about this forever. So I'm going to be doing lots of videos explaining and breaking down the mortgage process. I really appreciate you guys following this and watching this video all the way through. Subscribe, like, comment, and let me know what you'd like me to talk about. I love to give you guys information on stuff that you specifically want. And yeah, looking forward to this, guys. Thank you.